Behind me, down this hill, lies one of Lusaka's oldest townships, Matero, which over the years has gained its own name, a city within the city. So many stories have been told about Matero and how a number of dubious activities are done behind closed doors. On this week's edition of News In Depth, we get up close with Matero Township to find out whether the stories told about the township are true or not. I am your host, Macpherson Mkuka. Stay tuned. Matero is one of Lusaka's oldest townships. It is second from Chilenje, a fraternal twin township located in the southern part of Lusaka. The name Matero hails from the Chewa tribe in eastern province of Zambia, which in English means slope or a slopey area. This is perhaps because of the township's location, which is characterized by hills and slopey areas. Among the notable features in Matero is an elevated place, which was known as the Humanism Hill. It is said that people would go on top of the hill to watch a football match in the adjacent football field, which later came to be known as the Independence Stadium. But how did Matero come into being? University of Zambia historian Houston Chiputa says the township was birthed in the colonial days, a few years after the Second World War.
Following the construction of or the establishment of Chilenje, Chilenje was established somewhere about 1945-46, and then Matero came after that. I think about 1952-53, they built Matero, which was slightly larger than Chilenje, except that while Chilenje was built and very close to Woodlands and Kabulonga, and of course Livala, which came later, Matero was built exclusively away from the European settlement areas. Matero was built on the other side of Lusaka, on the western side of Lusaka.
Matero is ranked the third most populated constituency in Lusaka. This makes it one of the most treasured areas politically, as it is believed to be among the constituencies that produce a winning vote in the province. However, this is not strange. It is also in Matero where one finds house number 3144B, which housed the headquarters of the United National Independent Party, UNIP, between 1959 to 1961, where much of the campaign was planned, which led to the independence of Zambia. Most plans for the 1964 liberation were conceived in this house in Matero. The house, although still standing, has seen its heydays, therefore begging for refurbishment. And historian Dr. Houston Chiputa says it is because of this house and the Matero Hall that Matero has grown to be a political haven.
During the struggle for independence, Matero was a very important and a critical compound, because a lot of rallies, a lot of meetings, and a lot of conversations that built into the anti-federation struggle, that built into the struggle for independence and eventually independence itself. A lot of meetings and rallies were held in Matero. So Matero, particularly Matero Hall, has been very, very significant in the political development of this country.
Despite being the second township to be built in Lusaka, Matero grew wider in square kilometers and has over the years surpassed Chilenje, which looks relatively young to date. 73-year-old Eliphas Piri has lived in Matero for over 40 years. He told us that Matero became his home shortly after he completed his senior primary school education.
When I came here in Matero, this compound was not, there was no compound like this one. This was just a place people were cultivating some maize. Matero was just ending from there up to, it was just a little bit. But now Matero has grown up to this end. This is Matero East, And as you can see at this hill, there were no houses. Today, houses are all over, up to the graveyard.
Away from the township's birth records and physical evolution, Matero is now quite a fully grown and developing township accommodating thousands of people. As of the 2010 National Census of Population and Statistics, Matero is home to over 280,000 residents. It is this growth that over the years has earned Matero a nickname, a city within the city. However, the name did not come with good connotations to it. The area has over the last decade or so been associated with various illegal activities ranging from forgery of any document, production of counterfeit products, habitation of illegal immigrants, and many other white-collar crimes. And the police have termed Matero as one of the notorious townships in the capital city.
Our perception of Matero is that it is one of the notorious areas within Lusaka where we've had a lot of different crimes being committed. More so when it comes to violent crimes, especially in the past. We used to receive a lot of cases of violent crimes, such as murder. Barely a day would pass without police officers picking a body of someone who could have been murdered probably in the night. So it was notorious in that area. And even today, we wouldn't say that things have changed much.
Police spokesperson Esther Katongo further affirms that the service has in the past dealt with a number of forgery and counterfeit-related crimes in the area.
There is a lot of white-collar crimes where you find people are able to forge documents, essential documents, vital documents, such as licenses, certificates. They can be done in Matero. And also drinks. They also make counterfeit drinks. If you have a label trademark, they can use your trademark and come up with a drink and take it on the market, and people would not even be able to see the difference until you become so critical when looking at whatever product that these criminals do make. So these are most of the crimes that Matero has been known for.
Interestingly, the residents have conflicting views about Matero. Some believe the stories are merely hearsay, while others feel there is no smoke without fire.
I think these things, they do happen because they cannot be a rumor without, they say there's no smoke without fire.
Nowadays technology na chinja. Kulima computer, kali konse kanonga kate muntu, kali computerized, ma muntu angapange bwanji. So yonkani yanwa kamba Matero wapanga ma certificate ni boza.
That one is not true, because sometimes people, they just exaggerate things. When they see one thing happen, then they think everything is happening outside.
Mr. Piri says he too has heard stories of alleged clandestine activities in Matero, but has never witnessed any in his 40-year stay in the township. He says people occasionally talk about easy access to vital documents.
Those stories are heard everywhere. Most of the people say that Matero is known very well all over the world because of the things being done in Matero. But I have never come across those things. I always hear about what is happening around Matero. The forgery of licenses, certificates, and even registration cards. Yeah, but I've never come across it. But I only hear about it. Many people speak about it.
The Examination Council of Zambia confirms having records of cases of reproduction of certificates linked to Matero.
Yes, we know that people from Matero have been as involved in these vices as any other region. In the past 5 years I've been in this position, there are times when we have, yes, found people with the forged materials. Matero's and one area is one area like any other area. Chilenje, Charleston, even if you go to Kanyama, I mean all areas where there are schools, we have ended up finding such vices going on. But we also want to know where exactly this idea of saying Matero, especially with certificates, comes from, because we cannot have any identity on the forged documents that we have, which says these documents were forged in Matero. I think that we cannot confirm, because we confirm them as forged documents, but where they were forged from, we do not have that information.
The ECZ director was, however, quick to mention that such cases are not unique to Matero, as they also happen elsewhere.
I want to indicate that even as we investigate leakages, for example, leaked exam papers or forged certificates and the like, it's not just Matero where these documents come from. They come from all over. Just like we found materials from elsewhere, we also found some of the materials from Matero. Yeah. It's difficult for us to make any judgments, because as ECZ we only deal with forged certificates and leaked exam materials. Those are the main areas of crime that people engage in, and we have found these materials to come from everywhere else. So we cannot necessarily say Matero, because we can't link these materials to Matero alone, but they are linked to everywhere where people are.
The police service shares a similar view. Police service spokesperson Esther Katongo indicates that it is difficult to arrest people involved in such crimes because they usually occur in areas where it is difficult to suspect.
We have been conducting operations, and in some instances we've made a breakthrough. Now when you look at Matero, it is highly populated. And some of these things, some of these crimes, they happen within homes, where even a neighbor may not even know to say that such things are happening in the neighborhood. But in instances where we have received information, yes, we have done that. But those who conduct within markets, some, when we do our operations, we do apprehend them. But again, it is something, white-collar crimes are very, very difficult to wipe out because of the nature in which they are executed or conducted.
However, police say after conducting a series of investigations on some of the arrests, Matero still stands out as a problematic township. Esther Katongo also disclosed that arrests were made during the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, which Zambia hosted early in March 2017. She said the cases mainly involved people who presented forged football match tickets, whose production is alleged to have been from Matero.
The Africa Cup, which we had, we also had some cases where some tickets were manufactured within Matero. And some people were even presenting those same tickets at the gates, and some people were apprehended for that. So those are the issues. But Matero is always on top of things. Whatever comes up, they will find a solution to that. So even during that time, that was just a short period of time, but they were able to come up with the tickets which FAS was selling. And they were selling to unsuspecting members of the public, and others were buying, and unknowingly they would even presenting the same tickets. And when we now, as police, when we want to get to the bottom of it, or the source of those tickets, it was becoming so difficult, because someone would just come and sell you a ticket and it goes. So for you to start looking for that person, the one who sold you that ticket, it becomes so difficult. So people that were tricked, those who bought those tickets, they could not help the police to point at the person that sold them.
While debating on whether such crimes exist in Matero or not, evidence of counterfeit products emerged. These two 1x6 cases of counterfeit Jolly Juice drinks are in police custody at Matero police station. The 2-liter bottles are alleged to have been sold to an unsuspecting businessman, Damien Ntahondereye, a Burundian national residing in Matero. Initial contact with a small-scale businessman proved challenging as he grew cold feet. After a couple of days, Damien availed himself and shared with us what transpired on the material day.
Pamene vinachitika hanabwera muntu ari na madringi, then nawoda madringi nawoda 60 kwacha. After nawoda 60 kwacha nafaka mushopu. After nafaka mushopu hanabwera bakastoma kugura yagura fika ku nyumba yapeza ni magonga. After yanibwezera bayangana inango yenzeko baona ati ni magonga. After naona ni magonga nayachosa yose.
But 73-year-old Elfas Piri says if such cases exist, then they are not conceived in Matero. He is of the view that people from nearby townships could be using Matero as a base for their illegal dealings.
It's not done in the market, in the public place, but it's done somewhere where people do not know where it comes from. These things come within this place. Some come from Mandevu, many young boys. They are friends. They can come and commit crime here. So this can happen. Even from Chunga, they come and commit a crime here. Because our young boys have got friends in other compounds where they mix together. After they have got, they have planned to do something bad, and they just come and they rob people, they kill. You have heard about the people being killed in Matero.
And true to Mr. Piri's words, Damien says his dealer comes from nearby Zingalume township. The businessman revealed that the illegal dealer admitted the crime before being taken to the police.
Madringi wamenenze yagura kulina inango yenze kuba nayangana banaona kuti ani magongo. Na eva navomera ati ani magongo. Namuza bwana ati nibweze drama. So drama sana bweze katsiwa banamupeleka ku police. Madringi sana gambi pameneyo mzayachosa. I think ba police sinize ba police banamufunza pameneyo mzayachosa. Kairi banamutenga pano kushoka banamupeleka ku police. Aneyo.
Damien also narrated the trick he played to get the dealer apprehended.
One day, nienda kuchani kuzingarume namona ati namuza bwanje ati aja madringu nanipasa nasira tisoma ilo useni niletere inango kairi aja madringu yao kama enda maningi. Then after yamvera ati ni business useni seni yaleta madringu namuza bwanje ati madringu yao gonga.
The alleged white-collar cases in Matero are known to have a historical perspective. Dr. Chiputa says the birth of neighboring compounds has contributed to what Matero is now perceived to be. He says this is because people could commit crimes in nearby areas and use Matero as a transiting point, hence creating an impression that the criminals were resident in Matero.
Matero sprang up, George compound sprang up, Chunga. So Matero became quite different from the other one, that is Chilenje, in the sense that while Chilenje was not necessarily surrounded by informal settlements, Matero came to be surrounded by those informal settlements. A city within a city, because of the nature of its composition, with the adjacent Chunga and George compound, therefore, tending to blow up the population of Matero, but also giving it some notoriety because of the activities that are associated with Matero. Some of the infamous activities that have been associated with Matero are things like crime, prostitution, and many other such vices, because with Matero, people could commit crimes in Matero and fizzle out into Chunga, or just fizzle out into the bush.
The bad image painted on Matero has had another effect. Illegal immigrants are alleged to have taken advantage of the porosity of the township and its alleged illegal activities. The Immigration Department says it has conducted operations in Matero and apprehended a number of illegal immigrants.
Illegal immigrants are accepted within our societies. Also, we have got Zambians and other foreigners who are in the country illegally, who actually aid, abet, and give shelter to them without even thinking twice about it. In short, they're not reporting these suspected illegal immigrants to the immigration for us to move in and do the needful in terms of removing them.
The department is also of the view that the high population has contributed to the increased number of illegal immigrants in Matero. Spokesperson Martin Shinka says illegal immigrants tend to live in areas with high population density.
One, they are more frequently illegal in places where, of course, there's a large population. The other thing that research actually uncovered is that they tend to stay in places where it is very easy to access fake identities, that is, fake documents of national identities, such as maybe NRCs or your passports, for example. So based on that, you'd be inclined to suggest that probably you find more illegal immigrants in Matero and other related localities within Lusaka than in places where the populations are slightly small and the accommodation is quite expensive and stuff like that. So based on that, I think that's the view that we have.
Elifa Spiri, a senior citizen, acknowledges that crime in the area has worsened and people of his age are living in fear. He said it has become difficult for people of his status to move about in the evening because of the increased number of attacks in the area.
Matero, that time, Matero was quite good, but this time because of the environment which has now come up, many young boys and girls, they have become bad now, you see. Matero is no longer a good place to live in. We live in fear because of the environment which has come out. Security is no more there in Matero. But I have no knowledge about the name of the group of the people that are harassing people during the night. I don't know, but what I hear about the harassment of people, that people are being harassed, others are being robbed, You cannot move during the night because of these young boys.
Dr. Chiputa says some of the stories associated with the area are not a true reflection of Matero.
When people say, for example, there is University of Matero where people cook up degrees, certificates, diplomas, and all sorts of wrong things, they may not necessarily be made in Matero. They may not necessarily be made in having such areas. They may be made even in Kabulonga or Woodlands or anywhere else in Lusaka or anywhere else, in fact, in Zambia. But because there is that name of Matero being a notorious part of Lusaka, people have a tendency to think that anything that is bad in terms of crookedness, printing of illegal money, that is the fake dollars, the fake kwacha, all that is associated with Matero.
Interestingly, amid all the alleged crimes in the area, people are still positive that the area will one day be cleared of its name.
One of the most interesting features that we found in Matero on the hill were intercessory prayers. A number of individuals from the nearby houses come up early in the morning on this hill to pray.
This is the famous Humanism Hill that was once used as a platform to watch football matches in the Independence Stadium. Residents come here every morning seeking God's guidance and protection. They believe one day God will deliver Matero from the bad name it has earned over the years. Apostle Axon Simposa has been climbing the hill for prayers since the early 1990s.
A lot of things have been happening in Matero, but nowadays I see that God is reigning in Matero. If you go around Matero, you find that a lot of houses, a lot of places are being taken up, even bars. Bars nowadays, they are being used, council bars, they are being taken up. It's churches now running those bars. So meaning Matero is changed. It's no longer the Matero we used to know.
However, the command has ruled out the possibility of any outright end to crime, thereby announcing plans to beef up manpower in the area.
Today we may say that we have brought down the levels in crime, but levels of crime, they fluctuate. You find that today you record maybe a reduction, maybe a week later there's an upswing. So really we don't even need to be comfortable to say that we have brought down the crime levels in Matero. We just have to be on top of things as police. So we would want to increase the numbers of officers so that at least we can clamp down on these criminals. With few numbers, it will still remain a challenge. We'll just be maybe reactive than being proactive, but we want to be proactive in seeing to it that we regulate the activities in Matero.
Much as Mr. Piri shared worries about the security in the area, he has no plans of living anywhere else.
You know, I've got this house now. I was given this house, this plot in 1978 when the World Bank had planned for the human settlement. Yeah. And because of this, I cannot go anywhere. And this is my plot. I will be here for 100 years, but in not 100 years, I will go away. I will go to the land of silence when my children will also live here. So I can't go anywhere else where I can go.
It is clear that there is need to create a better name for one of Zambia's oldest townships, Matero. It is also evident that the area still has a promising future. There are vast opportunities in the area, including high population volumes, which offer market for goods and services. For this to happen, members of the community and law enforcers would have to join efforts and repaint the not so impressive image Matero currently carries.
This is where we come to the end of this week's edition of News in Depth, where we've been looking at Matero Township and the stories surrounding it. I have been your host, Macpherson Mukuka. Be sure to join us next week for yet another exciting News in Depth program. For now, it's goodbye and God bless you.